Hello everyone, today's session will be on programming tools, but before that let me introduce myself. I am Priyanka Nautiyal, Assistant Professor at Dolphin PG Institute of Biomedical and Natural Sciences, and today's session we will be discussing about the programming tool. Now in order to write any program like C, C++, Java, we need to have some planning. So the planning we'll do through the algos. Algorithm is simply the core concept in the programming tool, and it is just the solution, step-by-step solution to any problem. So the step-by solution to any problem can be expressed in the two ways, either in the written form or in some graphical representation. If we do the graphical representation, this is simply the flow chart, and if we do the written solution of the problem, then this comes under the pseudocode. Now how to write the pseudocode. Simply starting with the algorithm input, you have to give some input. For example, if you have to write the program to add any two numbers, then what you will be doing, you will be just giving the two inputs to perform the addition. Then another variable you will be requiring for sum. Again, defining the variables, you will be giving some names to the variable, means x and y you are giving the numbers to add. Next is step 3 is about the algorithm operations. These are simply the mathematical operations or the logical operations or some other operations. In this program of addition, we are doing the addition, means we are doing the arithmetic operators you are using. You have to do the plus addition you are doing. After performing the addition, you will be just assigning the value to the sum. The x and y value will be saved in the sum part, and that you will be displaying. This is how you write the pseudocode. Next, we will be looking at the flowchart. As I have already told you that the pictorial representation of the solution of any program, step-by-step solution of any program, you will be doing through the pictorial representation. This you do some with the help of some symbols having some meanings. If you see, the symbol oval is for the start and the end. This oval represents a start and end point of any algo. Now next is the arrow. Arrow is simply the line connector between the blocks. Whatever blocks you are using, the joining part will be the arrow. It can be either upward, left or right based on your program you are doing. Next, for the input and output values, you have to make the parallelogram. In this parallelogram will be representing your input and the output value. Next is your rectangle. Whatever process you are doing. For example, in the addition part, in the adding of two numbers, you are doing the addition, that is sum is equals to x plus y. This you will be writing in the process part. Next is the decision making. In the decision making, you generally use where you have to make any decision between the two numbers, either it is greater than or less than the largest of the three numbers, smallest of the three numbers. There you do this use of this decision block. Now the using of flowchart, simply it allows the simplification. By just looking at the blocks, you will be getting some idea about how to write the program. So this just make the programming bit easier. You have your algos with you in the form of either pseudocode or the flowchart. You can easily do the programming in C, C++ and Java. Next, some other special symbols that you use in the algos are simply the mathematical operators. Already we have used to add the two numbers. You have the addition, subtraction, modulus operator. The modulus operator will give you simply the remainder part. Next is the assignment operator. You were using the assignment operator, you were adding x plus y and assigning that value to the sum part, that is equal to is your assignment operator. Next is your relational operator. It will be just greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, simply greater than, simply less than. Logical operator, already seen in the digital electronics part, you have some basic gates, and, or, and not. And is simply if any of the two inputs are true, then your output is true, and either of the two is false, your output is false. Similarly, in the OR, if you are having any of the two inputs true, then your output is also true. NOT is simply the inverter part. Next comes the selection control statement. This will be selecting through the diamond cut shape in the already seen in the flowchart. The selection control statement we write there. Generally, it use if else statements are come under the selection control statement. Next is the loop control. Loop control is simply if you have to do the same operation, if you have to do the multiple times, then you use the loop. For example, if you have to write the marks of the 50 students, then you are performing the same operation 50 times. In that case, you have to do the loop. So loop is generally for the same operation multiple times. If you look at the problems under the algo and the flowchart, is the first is simply the addition. Already I have shown and discussed you in the previous slides. Is simply the start. You have to do start with the start. You have to take the input x and y, two numbers you have to take that. You have to do the addition here, and then is the your operation. This operation, two operations are here acting. First is the addition of x and y, another is the x and y value is assigning to the sum. Next is the display of the sum, and this stop is just the algorithm terminates at the stop. Now if you look at the flow chart, is simply with the oval shape you do the start and stop. You will be giving the input value to a and b. You will be just performing the sum a and b. Next you will be printing that sum that a plus b assigned. In this the flow chart, the variable, there is a difference in the variables. In the program I have taken x and y, whereas in the flow chart this is a and b. This is just to show that you can take any value of variable. Either you can take x and y or you can take a and b. It's your choice. You are free to assign the you are free to give the variable name. Next is a problem about printing the even numbers between 1 to 50. If you look at 4 is your even number, whereas 5 is your odd number. Starting from the point, you have to give the initial value to I1, that is, if you are finding the number between 1 and 50, so you have to initialize your variable. So initializing the variable I is equals to 1. Next, your selection will be done based on the I value. If I value is greater than 50, then you have to select the step 7, means you have to stop your programming. If I is greater than 50 is false, then you have to proceed to the step 4. In the step 4 you are just checking whether the number is even or odd. In order to check the number even or odd, you just use the modulus operator. What your modulus operator do? Your modulus operator just give the remainder part. For example, if you have here I value 4, then 4% 2 will give you the remainder 0, because 4 gets easily multiplied by the 2 without giving any remainder. So you are getting 0. If you are getting 0, then your number is even, means you need to have your numbers. Your even number will be coming, so it will be displaying the I is your 4. Now this statement will complete end if, and you will be stopping you will be then incrementing the value. Now it will value will become 4 from 4, the value of I will become 5. Now again it will go to the step 3. So this condition is of looping. It will be checking the value of I, it will be initializing your value, it will be checking whether it is 50, it will be then incrementing the value. So it again, the value of earlier the I was 4, now the I is 5. Again the 5 is less than 50, you will go to step 4. It will be checking 5% 2 to the 4, you are getting 1 remainder, then this number is not an even number, so it will not display I, it will just go to I plus 1, it will be not displaying the odd number. This way again it will be incrementing, and up to 50 it will check. When the number 51 will come, I will be 51, then it will be checking 51 is greater than 51. 51 is greater than 50. Okay, the condition is, yes, the condition is met. Your 51 is greater than 50, I is having greater value than 50, then this condition is checked. If this is yes, so directly the program will terminate. This is how you have done. In this you have the looping also, and another one is a selection statement, either yes or no. It will be selecting based on the condition you have given in the decision box. So based on the condition, your particular value will be selected. Next is the references. The references I have taken from help, and for your queries also you can take the help from these references. With this I complete my session. Thank you for joining this session.